Welcome to the Process of Purpose podcast. We're here to help inspire and motivate people to find their purpose through the process of spirituality, health, and wealth using godly principles and values to break through to the life that God has called us to live. The title of this episode is Not Feeling It. I wasn't having the best day before this podcast, and I want you to really tune in and see how I push through. Here's the episode. I'm going to be real today. Right. Today was just one of those days, and we all have them, and I'm not feeling sorry for myself. But today was just one of those days, I was supposed to have a guest on today. They called me, or they gave me enough time. They called me in the morning and said, hey, you know what? We got to push it back for another 2 weeks. They had an appointment that came up, and I probably would have done the same thing because it was a good appointment. So, no, he definitely gave me enough time to prepare. To write a whole new outline. I had just finished the one that we're gonna do, and all these things started coming up. Got busy, and then I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do one with my wife." So we're gonna do one. Got super busy, didn't do one, didn't get back. I just didn't get to it, and I was like, you know what? All these things started coming today. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Really, I didn't feel like doing this today. I didn't. I had told my wife, you know what? I'm not doing the podcast today because I just don't feel like doing it today. And she was supportive like always. She's super supportive all the time. But yeah, no, definitely one of those days. So today I actually don't have an outline because I wasn't going to do it. I had decided I started washing dishes. I had to wash clothes. It was just in my head that I wasn't going to do it. And so I kind of want to talk about responding versus reacting, because at that moment when I started getting all these phone calls of this escrow happening, this one didn't go into escrow because of this reason, or whatever the case is with work, I kept getting all these phone calls from work and emails. So I was dealing with all that today, and it was a little overwhelming trying to get the whole outline thing done, trying to see what my wife and I were going to talk about. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on my job, on my work because that's what pays me. And I'm not going to do the podcast today because I just don't feel like doing it. And I was set. Like I said, I was set. I was ready to go. So literally right here, all I have in front of me on my laptop is Process of Purpose, my mission statement, the process with Crystal Cedeno, and Crystal Cedeno is not in there right now. So bear with me, guys. I'm gonna share how I kind of got to just doing it, because I felt like God was really telling me, like, yeah, you had a bad day, a couple of things went wrong, but how are you gonna react? What are you gonna do? Because everybody has those tough days. And it's not like mine was crazy tough. It was a little overwhelming, but it wasn't like, somebody passed or, some tragedy happened. I just had a really rough day. And I let that get to me for a moment, for a while, actually. And I wasn't going to do it. They're like I said, I was done. But like I said, God really, I started listening to worship music because I was like, you know what, I think this is going to calm me down. So I started listening to worship music. I was washing dishes, and I really felt like God was like, bro, you better go do it, man. You're always talking about being consistent. You're always talking about resiliency. I hope I said that right. And you're just going to not do it because you don't feel well, or not that you don't feel well, but because you had a rough day. Like, you talk about, that you don't like complaining, but yet you had a tough day and you're just not going to do it. So that's how I felt today. And I'm just being real. I felt like, man, like nobody wants to listen to me right now because I'm not in the state where I need to be able to help people. But then I started thinking about it. Like, what if there's somebody out there that's having an even worse day than I am, or having a really, really bad day, and they get on here and they're able to say, you know what? There are people out there who are struggling just like me. There are people out there who are going through things just like me. And I wanted to show people that even though you're going through a rough time, that's when you should press in more, right? So like for me, I press into God. I decided to get into worship music, but to press in more, to push through what you're going through, because who knows, this might be the best podcast that ever happened. But if I didn't attempt to do it because I was feeling sorry for myself, then the opportunity wouldn't be there. So I decided, hey, it's funny because my wife called me and I told her, hey, I'm not doing it. And my wife, she's super awesome. I love my wife because she's super supportive. She's like, okay, perfect. You know, hey, take a day off. Cool. And she comes home with ice cream. She knows me really well. She knows that's like my thing. So I started thinking about it, like, man, my wife supports me no matter what I do. Like, no matter like how I'm feeling, she's going to be there to back me up. If I decide not to do it, she's going to be here to help me out. So I said, man, I can't let her down. I can't let her down. Like, I'm supposed to show people how to be consistent, and I can't show my wife how to be consistent, you know, like being the example. So I was like, nah, man, I need to do this. I need to just stop, you know, quit feeling sorry for myself and start plugging things in and getting it all together, getting it set up. Because I even throughout the whole setup, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually getting a little fired up, but I was struggling, and I was still listening to worship music. So that was really helping me out. I prayed before, saying, God, just help me through this because I'm really struggling right now. So we're here now. This might be a really short one, but guys, what I'm trying to tell you guys is no matter how hard things might get, you got to push through, because that's when your character is built. That's when your strength is built, right? That strength to keep moving forward. Because if this would have been the first Tuesday I missed in about 4 to 5 months, I really don't know how long I've been going on the actual podcast, but it would have been the first Tuesday that I missed in 5 months, all because I wasn't feeling so great. Nah, man, that's not pushing through. That goes against everything that I ever talk about, right? I always talk about pushing through no matter what, and I felt it, man. I was convicted because I was this close of just calling it a day. Like, that's it, man. I don't have the energy for it. I've been on the phone all day. You know, I've been dealing with people all day. I don't want to do it. But I got on here, and instead of reacting, right, like I was reacting, because I was right there at that moment, I was reacting. I decided to respond. And the beautiful thing about responding is that you actually get a chance to kind of take a look in the mirror and say, okay, you had a bad day. Now what? Right? Reflect on what's going on. Say, okay, now who am I letting down? Not only am I, not being consistent, but who am I letting down? Who needs to hear this story today? Who needs to hear, man, you know what? Robert does go through some bad times sometimes, even though I always have the big smile, or I always want to give the biggest hugs. Yeah, no, I struggle too, man. I have these days, probably more often than you actually think, but today was a heavy one. So yeah, guys, don't allow a bad day to stop you from where God has called you to be. Because even all day, I felt like the enemy was attacking me, man, and I was allowing it to happen because I actually felt it. So usually I won't even give that life. Like, I won't even acknowledge it. Like, nah, man, I'm having a bad day. I don't even talk about the enemy, man, because that's just not what I want to do. I don't want to give that life. And today was one of those days where I did give it life. I was like, man, like, dude, today I am struggling. I am getting attacked. I did my prayer. I did my devotional. I read today. Like, I felt like I did everything right. We woke up at 4:30 in the morning, went to the gym. So everything felt like it was in place. But yet I felt like I was getting attacked today. So a lot of times we think we got everything figured out, and we think we know how the day's gonna go, and then you get smacked around a little bit. That's when you got to know how to respond versus reacting. Right? Too many times in my life, I've reacted instead of responding, and it hasn't turned out so well. Prior to the podcast, prior to me giving my life to God, I start thinking back and looking at some of the times where I reacted instead of responding, and I said some ugly things, man. I said to people that I love too, like family members. Sometimes even my mom. My mom was like a victim of me reacting instead of responding. I would say hurtful things just because I knew what I was doing was bad, and that was a kind of way of defending myself. So that kind of brought back memories. Like, nah, man, you got to be able to respond with great attitude, be excited, like you always say you are. Right. So that's one thing that I tell people, that I'm excited every single day. And I am. I am excited every single day. But because I decide to be excited. Today, the strength wasn't there. And it's kind of funny because today when I was journaling, looking back to what I was actually talking to God with, and I was asking him for strength. That literally, like, man, my heart just sunk right now just thinking about it, because I was asking God for strength, right? But I didn't know I was going to need it today. I didn't know that today was going to be one of those days that I actually had to use the strength that God was giving me. Yeah, that's crazy to think about, actually, right? Something you talk to God about, and then you kind of get tested right away. And God's like, well, I want to give you the strength, but how are you gonna respond to it? How are you gonna react to it? And I was reacting for a bit. Now that I think about it, man, that's so crazy. That gave me the chills, man, because that's exactly what I asked for today, was strength. Crazy, man. Crazy how things work, right? So that's one of the things I asked for today, and now that I think about it, looking back, that's what I was getting today. Where was my character at? And I failed many times, like just being in a bad mood. My wife called me. The first thing I wanted to do when my wife called me, instead of saying, "Hey, babe, how are you doing today? How was your day?" The first thing I wanted to do was complain to her, which I hate complaining, but that's what I wanted to do. That's what I felt like doing. And of course, the amazing wife that my wife is, she listened, she reaffirmed, she knew what to do when she got home. She gave me a big kiss. She brought me ice cream. She knows I love ice cream. And as she was walking back and forth, I felt her touch, just like, hey, everything's gonna be all right. So that's always good to have too. Because sometimes you ask God for that strength, but like, that was God showing me, like, you don't have to do it on your own, right? There's people that I've put you around to be able to help you through the times where you don't want to go through. You know what I mean? Like those times that you don't want to push through. Don't worry about your strength. I'm putting the people around you to be able to help you out with that. Man. Yeah, I feel like this is just God speaking through me, man. Because, like I said, I have 0 notes right here. But like I was saying, I just kept feeling my wife's touch as she was walking by, on my shoulder, on my lower back, more like the love handles, right? Love handles part. Got those kittens. We call them kittens back here. Where your kidney area is at, it doesn't matter. It's the fat part, all right? And I just felt the touch and the love that she has for me, and I feel right now like God. That's how God was giving me my strength to remind me, 1, that my wife is here to love me. 2, there's people relying on you to be consistent. Like you always talk about consistency. I'm going through the whole 122 challenge, and that's all it is consistency, right? Working out 30 minutes a day for 122 straight days. That's commitment and consistency. And I have a commitment to be live on a podcast on a Tuesday at 6:20 p.m. I've made that commitment to God. I made that commitment to my wife, to myself, to other people that I'm trying to help, inspire, and motivate, and really encourage. Right? So by me trying to quit, or not quit, I wasn't gonna quit, but I just wasn't gonna do it. I was really gonna go against everything that I've always talked about, right? Against the 122, what I do every single day. So the whole 30 minutes working out every single day. So I've gone 36 days in a row. I'm doing my what I'm grateful for, my affirmations. See, like, and I did all this in the morning. That's what I'm like. I did everything that I thought that like I was supposed to do, right? I read the 20 pages. I visualized. I prayed. I did my devotional. What else do I do in there? I think that pretty much sums it in. So that I'm on about day 20. I want to say I'm on day 23 or 24, one of those 2 days. But commitment, consistency. And then I've been reading, John Maxwell book. It's over there. I'm not going to get up and get it. But it's the 15 laws of something. Right, I've been posting it. I don't even know the title, but it's been really good. And I've been going down the book, right, and it talks about like looking in the mirror, right, your environment, about consistency. And as I was going down, like see my wife, yes, right here. So John Maxwell, the 15 invaluable laws of growth. So I hope you guys can see this. Great book. Right, and this is it's a New York Times bestseller, and he's a Christian man. So this book has just been super amazing. It's been a blessing. I actually got it from my father-in-law. Again, someone that God put me around to give me strength through somebody else. But if I look through it, whoa, that's my mic. Right, like I've been reading these chapters. And I think I'm on like chapter 6, but the law of intentionality, something we talk about all the time, being intentional. I had to be intentional about doing this today. The law of awareness. So I had to be aware of the state that I was in, where my state of mind was. It wasn't in a good place, and I was aware of that. The law of the mirror. So the law of the mirror, he basically talks about like the value in yourself, what you see, how you speak life into. And I did all that this morning. I did the whole affirmations, what I'm grateful for, and I know what type of value I can bring. So again, that all goes around today. The law of reflection. I haven't got to the reflection part because it's not close to the end of the day, but I'm sure I'm gonna reflect after this and see, hey, I'm glad you did it. That's exactly what I'm gonna say to myself. I'm glad I did it. The law of consistency. And, the law of environment. So the first 6 chapters that I read, I started thinking about like, man, bro, like I hit these pretty good every single day. Like I've been pretty on it every single day now that I've been doing the 122 challenge. And so I got really pumped up, and I was telling my wife, like, man, baby, like I feel like I'm reading this and everything he's talking about, I'm doing. So I'm on track, right? And then I get to the next chapter, the law of design, and it was just like a downhill thing, because I was like, man, like, yeah, I have a pretty good schedule, but it's not a good schedule yet. Like I kind of wing it, like, hey, this week I'm gonna hold 4 open houses. Like, where did that come from? I just decided to do it, so I'm still kind of winging things. The only thing that's pretty set in stone is these podcasts. And then the law of pain. So, and then the law of pain, the good management of bad experiences. So that's something that we talk about here on the podcast. And then also the law of the ladder. And there's more, but that's as far as I've gone. I'm on chapter 9. The law of the ladder is basically putting in the work. So I don't even know why I got to that, but I really felt like I was on track. Like, man, I'm moving. We opened up 2 escrows last month. We're about to open up another one. And then, things just start happening. There's a lot of moving parts, and, people start making bad choices. And things just happen, and that's life. But how are you going to respond? Right now, like today, if there's something right now that you're feeling sorry for yourself for, stop. Be aware of it, reflect on it, and say, hey, how can I move forward? How can I push through it? Right? If you're going through a hard time, okay, be aware that you're going through a hard time, but okay, now how do I get to the next level? How can I push through? Right? Because that's one of my pet peeves, and the people around me, and they complain, and I just got I gotta remember, like, Robert, be patient, but at the same time, like, these people are blessed, and so are you. You're super blessed. You're blessed to be able to listen to this right now, to be in America, like, and that's stuff that I got to remind myself, and that's what I kept reminding myself right before this podcast is like, bro, you are blessed, right? Like, you are a child of God. Like, there's nothing better than that. Quit feeling sorry for yourself and get going, man. Go set up, start plugging all these things that you don't want to plug in right now. Go and do it. There's people out there that need to hear this. And I did. I pushed through, and I'm actually excited I did. So, guys, I hope you guys took something from today. I was really trying to be as real as I can. I'm always real, man. But my whole goal is always, as you know, to love on people, to encourage people, to motivate, inspire. So I hope I did that today. I hope I was without no notes. I know I was kind of rambling here and there, but I hope you guys got something from today. All right, guys. Again, you guys are all amazing. Love you. Share this with somebody. I hope you guys can share this live video on Instagram, guys. On Instagram, Facebook has the great audio. So if you ever like, man, I can't really hear what he's saying, go check out Facebook. You get the good stuff on Facebook. So, guys, again, share this with somebody. Thank you guys for being on. And again, if nobody loves you, Jesus loves you.